What if luxury was not about being seen instantly, but about taking longer to understand? That is the story of Nanjing Yunjin. Inside the Nanjing Yunjin Museum, there is a loom more than 4 meters tall. It is called the Dahualou wooden loom. At first, it looks like a tower made of wood and thread. Thousands of silk threads hang through its frame. One person sits high above, reading the pattern and controlling which threads should rise. Another sits below, moving the shuttle, guiding the threads, and weaving the pattern into the fabric. The two have to work together like musicians playing the same instrument. And what this slow, massive, precise machine creates is Nanjing Yunjin. The name means cloud brocade. It sounds poetic, but Yunjin is not only beautiful. For centuries, it was closely connected with court robes, imperial dress, and some of the highest levels of Chinese textile craftsmanship. It was sometimes described as a heavenly garment, and once you understand how it is made, that phrase starts to feel less like exaggeration and more like a description of the labor inside it. A single centimeter of Yunjin may involve more than 100 steps. Even skilled weavers can produce only a short length in a day. So the old saying, "An inch of brocade is an inch of gold," is not just a metaphor. Yunjin can literally contain gold thread. Craftspeople beat gold into extremely thin foil, cut it into narrow strips, twist it into thread, and weave it into silk. That means the shine is not simply placed on top of the fabric. It is part of the structure. The light is woven in. Then there is the zhuanghua technique, one of the defining features of Yunjin. It allows different parts of a pattern to carry their own colors and subtle changes. When light moves across the surface, the motifs seem to shift like clouds at sunset. That is where the cloud in cloud brocade comes from. And this is why Yunjin feels like China's own version of old money elegance. But not old money as a display of wealth, not logos, not noise, not something that needs to announce its price from across the room. Yunjin represents a quieter kind of refinement. Its value comes from time, material, technique, and meaning. In traditional Chinese design, a dragon is rarely just a dragon. A cloud is rarely just a cloud. A flower, a rui motif, a round fan, or a begonia blossom can carry ideas of order, blessing, identity, reunion, prosperity, and longevity. The pattern is not just decoration, it is a language. And Yunjin is one of the most sophisticated ways that language has ever been woven into fabric. That is the real value of Yunjin. It is not simply expensive silk, it is a complete knowledge system. It begins with the design of the pattern. Then comes the preparation of the silk threads. Then the structure of the loom. Then the coordination between two weavers. Then the arrangement of color. Then the precise relationship between warp, weft, and gold thread. Every step requires experience, memory, and judgment. This kind of craft cannot be copied quickly. Its preciousness is not only that it uses rare materials, its preciousness is that it turns time into something you can see and touch. A piece of Yunjin carries the hands of the maker. It carries the rhythm of the loom. It carries the meaning of the motifs. It carries an older understanding of beauty, order, and ritual. That is why its elegance does not feel loud. Yunjin is not trying to grab your attention immediately. It unfolds. The first time you look, you may only see something rich and luminous. Look again, and you notice layers in the shine. Look longer, and you realize that every thread, every color, and every pattern is exactly where it is supposed to be. This is a very Chinese kind of restraint. It can be magnificent without being flashy. It can be complex without becoming chaotic. It can use gold without making gold the whole point. What it truly expresses is an aesthetic order refined over generations. In the past, Yunjin belonged to the world of court dress, ritual, and rare objects that only a small number of people could encounter. Today, when we see it in a museum, we are not simply looking at an old textile. We are looking at a traditional Chinese answer to the question, what is luxury? And Yunjin gives a very different answer from the one we often hear today. Luxury is not always bigger. It is not always brighter. It is not always more expensive. Sometimes luxury is slower. Sometimes it is finer. Sometimes it is something that becomes more powerful the longer you look. It can hide blessings inside patterns. It can weave light into silk. It can leave time inside every inch of fabric. So if you ever see Yunjin in Nanjing, do not look at it too quickly. Do not only ask whether it shines. Look at the threads. Look at the patterns. Look at the order and blessings hidden in the details. You may realize that you are not just looking at silk. You are looking at a Chinese form of refinement. It does not rush to prove itself. It simply waits for you to notice. Because true luxury has never been only about price. It is time, technique, restraint, and a cultural memory that refuses to disappear.